Hey, welcome guys to this live coverage of the stock market. Today is August 5th, 2024. I thought it was important at the tail end of the week. I'd seen a lot of bearishness and it continued dramatically this morning, particularly with NVDA. So I wanted to be live today. This is the fifth or sixth volume of a bi-weekly LinkedIn newsletter and YouTube channel. So let's get started. It's not looking good. Hey guys, I thought it would be apropos for those traders that are learning. We call this, trading large volume stocks. Today is August the 5th and it's 10 a.m. So there was a lot of volatility in the stock market in the last week, and unfortunately, it's continuing. So I wanted to take an opportunity to discuss what I'm seeing, which is interesting. So in keeping with our theme of volume, I'm going to look at the stocks that see a lot of activity this morning. So you'll have to bear with me, of course, as I adjust my slides. It seems like this is going to be an unusual day, maybe even historic, so I figured I'd try to record as much of it as I could. In terms of volume activity on this watch list, I've got 18 million contracts. We always use 20 as kind of a baseline. I've already seen in the first hour about that amount traded with the following stocks. So NEO, AMD, Micron, and Microsoft are well on their way to blowing volume out of the water. And what are they doing? They are not doing good. This is one of my watch lists. And so again, we're looking at high volume on semiconductors, which are not doing good. Not a surprise, right? Not a surprise per se. So let's move on to another watch list. Call it social media IT. Generally speaking, an IT watch list. I can already tell something is not 100% on because it's taking a lot of time to load here. Um, so there's a lot of activity going on here. Alrighty, so as we look at volume, yeah, a lot of things are already over the 20 million contract mark, which I say is massive activity. Again, let's look at who they are. Massive activity today includes the Spider Financial XLF, pointed to you right here. It's down 2.5%. It's already trading at well over 20 million contracts, which is high. Amazon is also trading over 20. Amazon has dropped by near 3.7%. The Qs are down 2.75%. They're over 25 million. Taiwan Semis is getting hurt bad. It's down 5%, trading at 10 million. It's getting hurt bad. Semiconductor ETF is getting hurt bad. It was in the green, believe it or not, on Friday, and it's getting hurt bad. Applied Material is the only one that I see that's suffering the least, and it is making gains of about 0.5%. Taiwan Semis is getting hurt. Intel is getting crushed. Intel has never traded below $20 as far as I remember in the history of the stock market in several years. NVDA is getting hurt. It started as low as $90. I got into some calls right away. It was at all-time lows there. Oh my God, this is a crazy day. I hope you enjoy it. This is for posterity. It's not the best, highest quality, best edited. It is what amounts to a very, very historical day as far as I can see. Let's turn to my value stocks. We're looking at volume again, just sticking to the narrative. The volume is not astounding on value stocks, so people aren't paying attention to this very much. I've got Save or Spirit Airlines. I got Key Corporation. For some reason, I threw Goldman Sachs in here probably as a barometer to see how everything else is compared to it. Clearly not a value stock per se, but it's down 5%. It's getting crushed. Guardian Health is getting crushed. Um, Yeah, it's not. It's sad here. This is a very, very huge, huge move for so early in the day on big stocks. All right. Wow, this is really interesting. Goldman Sachs is getting hurt here. Guardian Health is getting hurt. Let's move on from value. Nobody's buying a lot today in terms of value. We looked at social media. All right, not a big surprise. A lot of people are jumping into the TQQ. It's getting crushed. That's the triple Qs. People were hoping the Qs would bounce. They're at 50 million contracts and they're getting crushed. Down by 10%. Apple getting crushed. Down by 5%. Neo getting crushed. Microsoft getting crushed. Citigroup getting crushed. So in terms of the stocks over 20 million, already the triple Qs, Ultra Pro QQQ. That's three times the QQQ, which is, what was doing, which is getting killed. I can't go into it right now. 37 million contracts already on Apple. They're down 5%, crushed. We've heard over the weekend that Warren Buffett has dropped about 50% of his shares. We knew that was going to hurt, but it's unbelievable how much people are trading Apple and getting the hell out of it. XLF is hurting 27 million. Neo 20 million. Microsoft already at 12 million, getting crushed. I mean, this is terrible. You can't sugarcoat this. This is terrible. For this early in the day, it's less than 1 hour of trading. Less than 1 hour of trading. August 5th. Oh, I don't know what they're going to call this, but they're going to call it something. All right, let's look at it again. How quickly they made it to 20. Look, Neo, we've talked about AMD. AMD is hanging in there. AMD is hanging in there. It was probably already very low. Micron getting crushed. Microsoft, we said, getting hurt. All right, shorting the SPXU is evidently shorting the S&P 500 ETF. It's up by 9%. Gold getting hammered, 6% down. Kathy Wood getting hammered, 6% down. Alibaba, the biggest internet company in Japan, getting hammered. Walmart down. Sin stocks like tobacco. This was doing well on Friday, getting hammered, down 5%. Hecla Mining, silver, getting hammered. Newmont Gold, hammered. Pinduoduo, getting hammered. Man. Roku, getting hammered. I'm just reading percent moves, not volume anymore, just because there's a recurring theme here. Marathon Oil, struggling, down 1.5%. Goldman Sachs, down 5%. 2 times gold nugget ETF, down 10%. Geo, REIT, Weight Watchers, Crisp Therapeutics, Space, down. Workday, down. Vista Gold, down. Platinum Group, down 15%. Historic, Honda Motors, down 5%. Gold, down 5%. Western Copper, down. Everything in my watch list is getting crushed. 200 stocks of the S&P 500, maybe half stocks, huh? Holy moly, this is history. All right, let's take a pause and move on to the next one. This is unedited, unrehearsed. I logged into the computer this morning to just check out my watch list. I knew it could be a busy day. I was running late. Everything, it's like, oh my God, it's like starting a race. It's, like when you line up to go to start a 10K, you're ready, you've trained, and now the race is going. You got to figure out where you want to start. Hundreds of people, you're in the top 100. Some people are going to try to get to the head of the pack. All right, let's look. There's a lot of people in this race, I'm telling you. We're looking at oil. We're looking at ExxonMobil down 2%. Its volume is 3 million. So I don't see a lot of activity in oil. I'm really probably going to skip ahead, but I will say um, that the stocks that people like myself are looking at: Chevron down, Devon, oil down, ExxonMobil down, Cameco's down. That one's a special one. APA's down, Marathon Oil's down, Nordic Frontline, uh, Berry, TK Tankers, they're all down as far as I can see. So oil's not attracting a ton of attention. All right, what do we have here? We got a lot of volume with NVDA. NVIDIA's already at 189 million contracts. It is trading at $98. It seems to have found a range. It was as low as $90. It went up to about 100 and it's hanging around. Alrighty, let's see. Intel's down 8%. That stock was surviving, I think, earlier in the day. Apple's down 5%. The Qs are down nearly 4%. AMD's was hanging in there. It's hanging in there. Microsoft nearly 3.5%. Semiconductors ETF continues to plummet. It is going down well over 4%, and it was flat on Friday. Okay, we got one good story here. Dust, Erexion, daily gold miners, 2 times. Oh, shorting the ETF for gold is doing well. Shorts are in today. XLU utilities not doing good, but they're looking the best so far. 10-year bond ETF, that one's hanging in there. It's flat on the day. Gold, applied materials down, communications sector ETF is down 3%, Morgan Stanley's down 4%, microchip down, it's doing okay, 1%, basically flat. Roku getting crushed. CVS Health down 3%. Wynn Resorts Hotel Group's usually doing okay, getting hammered, 4% down. Enphase Energy usually okay, getting hammered. Big Lots hammered. UPS flat on the day, thank goodness. I've got a long position in UPS because it hit its all-time, yearly low here a little while ago. It's hanging in there. I love it. Hang in there, man. Hang in there, UPS. Hang in there. I need you, buddy. First Solar down. Seagate down. First Solar down near 3%. Seagate 2.5. Progressive, which has been a darling in the stock market, is down 3%. Synopsys down 5%. FedEx down 3%. South American Telephone, great company, down 1%. Deere down. Who's hanging in there? Church and Dwight. Church and Dwight. Who's that again? We'll look it up later, but really we're just doing a review of what's going on. Skyworks down. Honda down. Sigma Lithium down. Ulta Beauty down. Platinum down. Box down. TK Tankers hammered. Steelcase hammered. Arlo, security company. I love that. That one's good. Down. Hammers. Nothing really to talk about. Geo, down. 10-year treasury. 3 times. Is that a. Can't. We'll come back to that one. Ultra short mid cap. Up. If you're shorting, it's up. Not a good day, people. Hang in there. We're going to find something. Let's see if we can find something that was unexpected. Let's go right to what I call the indexes. All right, indexes, NVIDIA. Okay, we know that it's at 200 million. It's usually, this is probably the highest traded morning in the history of NVIDIA. I've seen it go as high as 300 million or 400 million in a day. It's already at half that, and it's not even 1 hour into the goddamn trading session. People are shorting the hell out of the Qs. It's up 9%. Shorting the Qs is up 9%. Intel is down again. That is the worst company on the planet. It is clearly, in my opinion, worth looking at because it will get bought. It will get bought. You heard it here first. August 5th. Who's buying it? Who's buying Intel? SPY is down 3%. Big move on the SPY. Apple down nearly 5%. Finance stocks nearly down 3%. Amazon down 5%. The Qs continue to go down. 20 plus ETF is hanging in there. It's where people are going. It's safe haven. The bonds, that's a big deal. They're already at 25 million. IWM getting hammered. That was a Russell 2000, which was outperforming the past couple weeks down. Is this a buying opportunity? You might say so. High yield bonds hanging in there. Neo crushed. AMD hanging in there. Pfizer getting crushed. Microsoft getting crushed. Silver getting crushed. Google getting crushed. Shorting the S&P 500 doing okay. Staples hanging in there. Semiconductors getting crushed. Hathy Wood getting crushed. Dust, gold, 2 times short ETF. You're short in everything, people. Utilities, 1.5% down. That's hurting. PayPal crushed. Boyle, oh, getting crushed. Natural gas, Walmart, trying to hang in there. 7 to 10 year bond doing okay. Healthcare getting crushed. Biotech getting crushed. Well, when I say crushed, 2% down at the beginning of the day for me is good. I'll stop using the word crushed unless it's over 3%. Novavax, crushed. Roku, 6%, crushed. Philip Morris, hanging in there. It was doing good on Friday Flat. It's down 1.5%. XLY, state discretionary, getting crushed, over 3% down. Let's be more selective. Over 4% down, you're getting crushed. All right. This is on one of my bigger stock lists. So let's say who's literally getting crushed. Gold miners are getting crushed. Novonix, Intel, Roku getting crushed. NVDA getting crushed. Hecla Mining Silver getting crushed. Novavax crushed. Space crushed. Long S&P 500 getting crushed. Cathy Wood getting crushed. Chegg getting crushed. AES getting crushed. Silver getting crushed. Amazon getting crushed. First Horizon Bank getting crushed. IWC Microcap getting crushed. Synopsys getting crushed. Apple getting crushed. Neo getting crushed. Small cap value ETF getting crushed. Hotels getting crushed. Nutanix, microchips getting crushed. Russell getting crushed. This has got to be one of the most important days in the stock market that I've ever seen. Crushed. ETF solar. Cloud computing getting crushed. Copper getting crushed. Clean energy ETF getting crushed. PayPal getting crushed. That's the end of the getting crushed. Not doing well are consumer staples. Jets, planes, NASDAQ 100 getting crushed. Just moved over the 3%. Big 100 getting crushed. Everything's getting crushed. Okay, well, we get the picture. Let's see how quickly things can change. Sometimes things can change on a dime right around the end of first hour training when the very inexperienced people are trading the experienced ones doing the research like us. Let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere. I got marked as inside bar bullish. So at one point, these stocks in the past had huge changes after inside bar. So when we're looking at volume, there's not a lot to say. Wells Fargo getting crushed. Gold getting crushed. Big lots getting crushed. All right. Not a lot to say on this one, unfortunately. Not a lot of volume on this particular stock list. Marathon Home Builders getting crushed. Not a lot of volume, but they're getting crushed. Small retail getting crushed. Church and Dwight doing okay. Not a lot happening on this one. Let's move on to the next one then. We are looking at watch list live. Let's take a break. Today is August 5th, 2024 at 10:20 a.m. Wrapping up the first hour of trading. We've been live here for about 20 minutes looking at stocks that we traditionally trade that are considered high profile, high volume, meaning there's going to be activity. It's a great place to look at because everyone's looking at it. It's better to be patient and trade every so often than impatient and lose a lot of money in a matter of days or hours. So we trade and look at stocks on weekends and we predict what's happening in the next couple weeks. In terms of volume today, we've looked at a lot of stocks that are trading at unusually high volumes for the first hour of trading. Totals approximating what they would by the end of the day. We'll continue that by looking at Ford Motor Company. It is getting traded. It has been extremely volatile, extremely dangerous to trade. It is as low as $9. If you'll remember, 2 months ago, it was in the teens. The volume is extremely high, and it is getting killed, down 4%. We got high volume today on iShares, iBox, high yield bond. Bond ETF is hanging in there. Micron getting crushed. Its volume is extremely high, and people are getting out, down 5%. Taiwan Semis, extremely high volume, getting crushed, 4%. American Airlines, down 2.5%. Tilray Brands, marijuana stock, getting crushed. Gold Gold, Barrick Gold, very famous company, getting crushed, down 5%. Tobacco, getting crushed. Altria Tobacco, and some marijuana stocks. Coors Light, all those things, down 2.5%. JD down. Teva Pharmaceutical, based in the Holy Land, down 3.5%. Delta Airlines, getting crushed. Hewlett Packard, getting crushed. Schlumberger, great important infrastructure. Everybody knows them. They're 2.5% down. Moderna, nearly yearly lows. Oh my God, it's been so hammered, so bad. It is a bloodbath with Moderna, down 5%. Let's take a look at this chart. Let's take a look at the chart. Oh, this is horrible. They're claiming that, they can't get money out of their one and only functioning stock, which saved so many people's lives, the COVID stock. Unbelievable. There's got to be a sentiment change. There's got to be a sentiment change. Moderna, look at this. 6 month. It is basically, oh my God. It was trading as high as 150, $60 here in May. It was in a healthy range here. It was kicking ass, well over $125. It is down, down, down. That's unbelievable. That is a shit show, folks. That is what they call the shit hit the fan, and you're gonna get hit. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. People start using that word. Everybody knows what a shit show is, and they want out. They want out of this market. There is nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. This is very sad to watch. All right, February. February, where were we? That's where we were, right? February, we were saying who's trading. Let's see. We were looking at volume. We were saying Ford is getting hammered. Micron, Taiwan, gold, British, the Holy Land, Schlumberger, Moderna, host hotels. It's hanging in there. Canopy Growth, the biggest name in the stock market, getting hammered. Novavax, pharmaceutical, hurting. STEM, micro semiconductors, getting hammered. APA, oil, getting hammered. Sundial, marijuana, getting hammered. Gilead Sciences doing okay. So pharmaceutical companies are trying their best. Some old companies are trying their best. AbbVie, pharmaceutical, trying their best. Seagate, getting hammered, 3% down. Vaxart, getting hammered. Space, getting hammered. This is history, baby. Aurora Cannabis getting hammered. Organigram, marijuana getting hammered. Skyworks getting hammered here in Boston. Honda getting hammered. Honda getting hammered. Oops, it's a typo. Had it in there twice. Cron Group getting hammered. Marijuana. Agilent here in Boston getting hammered. Roche Holdings seems to be doing all right. That's an international thing. Okay. There's not a lot of good news. Not a lot of good news. Volkswagen kind of hanging in there. Only 2.5% down. Come on. Come on. Nope, 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 nope. Come on. Anything? Anybody? Closest thing I can see is biotechnology, pharmaceuticals hanging in there. And they're not getting crushed. They're just not getting crushed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Today is August 5th. We're approaching the end of the first hour of trading, and it is terror. It is terrifying. Because technically, when you talk about people's life savings, and then you talk about no sectors doing well, that means there's blood. It's like when the hawks are circulating and they're looking for where they're going to get their first meat. So there will be some buying. We know that, but they don't know where to go. Nobody's going anywhere in particular. They're getting out of the SPY. It's down 2.9%, almost 3%. Getting out of the Qs, the SPY and the Qs, S&P 500, and the Invesco IT stocks. Okay. Bonds hanging in there, but that's a high volume. People know right now. If you go into bonds, man, you're staying out of the stocks for a while. Google just hit 3% down for the day. It's trading very high. Semiconductors down. Biotech getting hammered. Communications hanging in there 2.8% down. IBM getting hammered 3% down. Guardian Health down, hammered 6%. Big Lots Retail hammered down. Newvent Electronic down. Net is Hanging in there. Cortiva. Hanging in there. Take two. No. Generac. Temper Sealy mattresses getting hammered. Whirlpool. Oh, that was at all-time lows too, just like Moderna. I tried to go a little bit into that. Not working. My my IWC micro shares ETF hammered. Calvista pharmaceutical timber down by timber should be related to home builders. This is not looking good for the future. They say Dr. Copper's when you want to watch two copper. I don't know where I have it on here somewhere. Well, folks, that's it. That's the end of the first hour of training. To summarize, we'll try to come back here again today because it's very busy. All we can see is that people are getting out of the stock market and fast. They're getting out of the stock market and fast. Want to go through the top 10 worst performers of the day? If you do, hang in there. We'll do one more slide here.